Bengaluru franchise are Women's Premier League champions again. A record run chase, a packed final, and at the heart of it all, Captain Smriti Mandhana. But this isn't just a story about a trophy or even about a brilliant knock in a final. This is about a story of resilience, about friendships that go beyond scorecards, and about an Indian women's cricket setup that is rising together, stronger than ever before, redefining the Indian cricketing landscape altogether. Because in that final, from the emotions in the dugout to the gestures between rivals to the refusal of players to bow down to pressure or personal struggles, Indian women's cricket showed exactly why its rise is unstoppable. Women's cricket in India has travelled a long, hard road, from fighting for contracts to fighting for recognition, to finally becoming prime-time superstars. And that journey reached a historic high last year, when India lifted their first global women's title. But just as the celebrations ended, a storm hit one of the team's biggest faces, Smriti Mandhana. The same fans who once adored her turned into critics, gossip mongers, even trolls. Personal attacks followed, boundaries were crossed, and the troll army came out in full force. For many players, that kind of pressure is enough to crack you. But Smriti Mandhana, as we've been seeing now, isn't built that way, because she had already put one thing above all.
I don't think I love anything in life more than cricket. So when you go out to bat or when you go out to represent your country, I don't think any other thoughts are there in the mind. When you put on the Indian jersey, the only thing you want to do is represent India and win the match for the country. Once you put on the jersey, you just keep all your problems aside and just be on the field. The thought of that is enough for you to have that razor-sharp focus and do what you want to do.
And she proved those words in the biggest game of the season. Before the final, Mandhana was battling high fever. She was unwell, but when the final arrived, she walked out like a leader and delivered a masterclass. A knock that powered Bengaluru to the highest successful run chase in a T20 final across men's or women's cricket.
She was seriously unwell with a high fever, but to turn up, not even show it, nobody in the team knew. That's the person Smriti is.
That performance didn't just win a title, it won respect, and it also proved something else. Smriti Mandhana wasn't alone in this battle. She had her team behind her, a dressing room that desperately wanted her to win.
Smriti has been through a lot in the last 1.5 months, so this win is very special. I would love to dedicate this win to her.
That's not just a teammate talking, that's a family that's backed her. Because in that final, support didn't just come from inside the Bengaluru dugout. Her parents were in the stands too. Her teammates were cheering every run she made. And then, of course, came the moment that defined the spirit of the game. If you witnessed those visuals last night, you'd know that hug lasted more than some minutes. Delhi captain Jemimah Rodrigues on the losing side, heartbroken after another loss in a final, and yet she stood there with a smile, joy for her opposite captain. Where else do you see that? A losing captain celebrating the opposition's victory, and in a manner that transcends sporting dimensions. Now make no mistake, Jemimah had given everything to this game. A quick-fire 57 with the bat, energy in the field, passion, leadership, intent. She even celebrated wildly when Mandhana was dismissed. She wanted to win this and win this bad. Because in that final, during that match, she was Smriti and RCB's biggest competitor. But once it ended, she was that best friend again. These two didn't just share a dressing room, they shared India's first World Cup triumph together. Jemimah even skipped an overseas league to stay back for Smriti to help her tide over an emotional storm. And Smriti has always done the same, on and off the field, even when Jemimah and her own battle to fight. So this story isn't just about two cricketers trying to wage solo battles. They're doing all they can to prop and back each other up, make each other better, and with it, make the sport stronger. That's what is the true reflection of the culture this entire Indian women's setup has really built.
हम लोग काफ़ी टाइम से एक साथ खेल रहे हैं, बट सिर्फ एक, अगर ये पर्टिकुलरली वर्ल्ड कप कैंपेन की बात करूँ तो हम पिछले 2 महीने से एक साथ हैं और सब कुछ कर रहे हैं, तो बॉन्ड इतने स्पेशल बन गए हैं। जैसे जेमिमा, अरू, राधा, माई सेल्फ, रिचा एंड शेफाली, मतलब बहुत स्पेशल है। सबको पता है कि सबके लिए क्या इम्पोर्टेंट है, किस टाइम पे किसको क्या ज़रूरत है, तो हर कोई हर किसी के लिए अवेलेबल रहता था उस मोमेंट के लिए।
That is the real rise of women's cricket, a unit that grows together, a team that celebrates individual success and players who keep breaking stereotypes. They aren't just cricketers anymore, they're icons, role models and leaders of a sporting revolution. On paper, history will say Bengaluru lifted their second WPL title, the biggest run chase across IPL and WPL competitions, another trophy in the cabinet, another milestone for the franchise who now hold WPL and IPL titles in the same calendar year. But the real memory of that final in Vadodara won't just be the records. It will be Smriti Mandhana's resilience, Jemimah's sportsmanship, and a team that stood together through it all. Because last night, it wasn't just Bengaluru that won, women's cricket triumphed.
Power doesn't end quietly. Some deaths are not accidents. They are messages. A gunshot. A crowd. A country frozen. The killer disappears. The questions don't. This is not just about who died. It's about what followed. Governments fell. Armies moved. History rewrote itself. 5 leaders, 5 moments, one pattern, the assassination.